Baby, hey, so I forgot to give you guys an update. You know, I went to visit Kirby's stage, baby.
Like, we're going to be going to YouTube and doing a stream in a second. So, like, a bunch of those people are probably in the chats right now. Goose gang in the house.
That's right.
In the house. In the house.
Oh.
In the house. In the house. In the house.
Baby.
In the house. In the house.
Kirby's stage, baby. Yes.
In the house.
Kirby's stage, baby. Yes.
In the house.
Right here. You guys are in the house now. Baby. 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 Yeah. I didn't know they were here, bro. Nice.
In the house.
Baby. Yeah. Big brains, the IQ, probably the average IQ of the DeFi Kingdom scene. Here's what I had to say to them about it. Baby, visit Kirby's stage. Yeah.
Kirby's stage, baby. Yes. Kirby's stage, baby. Yes.
In the house. In the house. In the house. In the house. In the house.
What is up, my man? Kristian Peter.
Yes.
I freaking love you. How are you doing? How's the 4th?
Freaking fantastic, Grady. I just had an amazing couple of weeks here. It's been a great Independence Day. It's been amazing just to get out there. I went out into San Diego Mission Bay, watched the fireworks. Oh my God, it's been great. It's been amazing. How about you? Did you go out to the lake?
It was at the lake, busy, didn't have a time, not a whole lot of rest. It was nuts. Kids, crazy, family, we're always on the go. I love it, man. I was thinking of you. So how about DeFi Kingdoms? Been doing pumping. It's been rebounding pretty strong.
Yeah. You know, I loved your interview with Crypto Tro earlier. I just finished watching it right before the stream.
Yeah.
The man is he's a good guy. I mean, he's been riding the jewel train since 2021, like most of us. And I love his content. I watch silently in the background, liking his videos and commenting where I can. But one of the things he said at the end of the video that I really took home was, we're in a very new asset class, right? I mean, Jewel is less than 2 years old. All of these cryptocurrencies are really, really young. You know, we're talking about Bitcoin, you know, and that's only about 10 years right now. So we're looking at, you know, Ethereum, which is only about 6-7 years old. And, you know, we're in this new frontier that we're all riding together. And I love the fact that we're in this new asset class, and it's going to make people extremely happy. And just like you were talking about in the last video, Grady, once people start thinking, God, this is the end of everything, you know, the bottom's falling out, you know, nothing's ever going back to its all-time highs, that's when you start buying. And I talked to a brown gent, you know, a couple of weeks ago, and I said, hey, Jade just finally had a green candle for its first time in a long time. And now look what Jewel's done. You know, nobody's really talked about it that much, but it's gone from under 10 cents to 15 cents or so. So like a 50% up. That's pretty good in my book.
And Jade went under a penny, and that went back up to around a penny and a half. Same.
Yep.
So that, you know, we were talking a lot about how it didn't make sense that Jade is less than Crystal. Never has made sense at all, like to me. So interesting stuff. I got my nephew getting in the game, asking me all these questions today. I love it. He also got into Dragon's Crossing. So fun, all this stuff going on. So I listened to the AMA, but was like distracted and scatterbrained. Catch me up. I remember. I was trying to remember, was there any big updates in last AMA? And I'm still trying to catch up on videos. Wait, yeah, on even over this last week. Catch me up, man. What's been going on?
Yeah, it's been, it's been a pretty mellow couple of weeks as far as AMAs go. I think that there's a little tidbit that they throw in here and there. I try to listen in live if I can, add a couple of comments into the YouTube chat, sometimes go into Discord, talking there as well. But the only buzz that we've been getting is about the bazaar, which doesn't excite me too much, but it is a part of the game that we really need. I don't know. I'm sure you remember Fox Escrow. That was the only place to buy and sell those items that were really scarce. So eggs for a while, greater crystals, all of that fun stuff that we had to buy and sell on Fox Escrow if we really wanted to use them. And, I remember paying a ton of money for greater atonement crystals, like 30, 40 bucks. And, I wanted to get them so that I could, get my heroes up and get the best stats possible. So now that they're going to have the bazaar, we'll be able to use their order book so that all of those rarer items that are in the game right now, we won't have to worry about all that slippage that happens at the trader. And, sometimes you can't even trade them because it's 15, 20% out of the range. So right now, we can't really trade or we can, rarely trade those really rare items. And now that the rare items will be able to be traded in the bazaar, it'll give us all a lot better opportunity then to go out there and buy and sell crystals and stones. And, we had talked about it a little bit. I think when you had Brown Gent on or he had you on, we had talked about it in the chat about like, what's going to happen when they introduce new items into the game. And that's what I'm really excited about is people don't seem to be talking about it very often, but you remember as much as I do when those new items came into the game and all of a sudden they were $200, $500, for the first couple of weeks, those things were trading like at enormous rates. And then, they went down over time because there wasn't a whole lot of use cases. But as the team builds more use cases in, I'm excited about what's going to happen.
Oh my gosh. So to the bazaar. Okay, so how I've been saying there's some things I can't share for like months now.
Yes.
That's turning now into just a few weeks coming.
I know.
Sharing some things. So if you've been paying attention to George brought it up on his show in passing, mentioned it. Okay. All right. So I don't think the bazaar is going to just be a DeFi Kingdoms specific thing. It's meant to be cross-chain and different chains and other projects. Okay, so there's things going on there.
Yep.
Got the Vegas meeting coming up with George.
I know. Is Jet going to be there in Vegas too?
I think so. And I think Brian D. Evans. Okay, and if you're a DeFi Kingdoms fan, I'll just say this: like you might want to pay attention to what's going on there.
Okay. I think you do. I put off my chat with Jet. He wanted to wait until they had an exact debut date for the next crypto gem. So Jet and I have been chatting back and forth, and I know Jet wants to come on the channel, and he had a couple of interviews last week, and he's like, dude, I just want to wait. As soon as we have the actual date and time for next crypto gem, I'll come on your channel. We can chat for half an hour about what's going to happen and the weight token and everything else that they're doing back there. And I'm loving it because I really wanted to have Jet on ever since we met at 3XP. Him, Brian D. Evans, the entire crew. It's going to be huge. They're talking millions and millions of viewers for this TV show. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, because they've got the network, Bitspoke TV, has another reality basketball TV show that's gotten multiple millions of views. So and I think this is going to have quite a lot more exposure. The reason why we haven't heard the exact date yet is because there's some big news coming that Jet is lining up some big partnerships with different things. And so I'm pumped.
I'm so stoked right now.
There's several big monster announcements coming this summer over this next month or two, DeFi Kingdoms fan. So, bam. So just hang in there, baby. I can't wait. for
Yeah, I
everything.
remember sitting down with you and Doug in ETH Denver, and we were sitting there at 2 a.m. talking about like all the crazy stuff that was going on in crypto, and we're talking about next crypto gem and what was happening with them, and all all the rumors that were going on. And now we're getting to that point where we're hitting the midsummer, which is kind of the summer doldrums, right? We talked about it before. It's like sell in May and go away. People get lazy, like I do. It's just like you want to go to the beach, you want to go to the pool, you just want to hang out. There's not a whole lot going on, but this is where some big waves can happen, and I'm sure that you're privy to it. I mean, when you were down in LA, you got a chance to see behind the scenes, and you got a chance to into the the realms that most of us don't ever get a chance to see. So yeah, tell me some more about what you got a chance to do with Jed and all the stuff that's going on with weight and all that fun stuff.
So I can't be too much more bullish on any other project over DeFi Kingdoms as far as the potential upside 1000x. But if there's another one that rivals the potential monstrous upside, is the weight token with Next Crypto Gem, because it's going to be the exclusive token and multiple new projects coming out. Okay. And that they're going to like with their incubator. And the first one coming, as we know, is Alpha District. Alpha District partnered with Animoca Brands, big monster VC partnerships. It's going to be a big time production. It's going to be like a Halo video game with phenomenal lore, the story behind it. I'm really excited what's going on there. Okay. And then several more projects are about to get announced. Okay. That are, I think, significant projects where the weight token is the primary token. And it really dipped today. I bought some more today, actually.
Wow, I haven't been paying attention to it. Yeah, I don't own any weight right now. I mean, I remember when you told me about it, ETH Denver was like a nickel, and I was like, I don't really know much about it. So I did a little bit of research, and as soon as I finished my research, it was all the way up at like 30 cents. And I was like, damn, I should have bought some when Grady told me about it. But yeah, it's one of those interesting projects that I think in a bull market, it's got a lot of potential. But right now in the middle of a bear market, like I've been telling everybody, the only thing I'm doing is stacking Jewel. And now I've been stacking it with ETH because those are my two favorite tokens on the planet. You've got Ethereum, which is ultrasound money. It keeps going down and down as far as supply goes. And you got Jewel, which is the #1 token inside the game. And it keeps going down and down as far as supply goes. People are locking it. It's getting burned. I mean, these are the two best tokens I could possibly find. And I know that the APRs in the gardens are not very juicy right now. I mean, you're talking like on Crystal Vale, 9% or something like that. And on Serendale, like 14, 15%. But who cares?
That's still good.
If Jewel does what we all think it's going to do, right? Say it just does a 10x. What happens to my ETH? Grady, what happens to my ETH if Jewel 10x's?
Then your ETH bag increases. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a win-win in my book. If Jewel 10x's, then my ETH 10x's.
That's why I love
10x's, then my Jewel 10x's. I'm looking forward to this next bull run because it's just going to be so mind-blowing. I'm so excited for it.
Yes, and I'll tell you, that's a big reason why I love liquidity pools, because especially when they're paired right, like Bitcoin and USDC, for example. If Bitcoin pumps, it's selling off into USDC. If it's dumping, you're buying as it dumps, and it does it all for you.
Yeah.
And then I
know you're really up to date with that stuff, because liquidity gardens, most people don't understand, right, how AMMs work. And so if you want a dollar cost average into Jewel and you think that Jewel might go down, but you're too afraid to buy it right now, just do the Jewel USDC, and then as it goes down, you're buying a little bit more every time it goes down. If it goes up, then it's taking some of your Jewel that you have and buying more USDC. So you're getting USDC at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, either way, if you're getting that APR, you're getting the really nice, juicy power token rewards from those skilled greenskeeper pets. And, this is the time to really take advantage of those, because, each time the power tokens start to go down over time, the rewards that we're getting on the power tokens are reducing over time. But right now, I mean, the way that I'm sure you're pulling in a lot of Jade and Crystal and Jewel every single day in those gardens, right?
Yeah, I am. I don't have a ton of money, but in there, but if I did, I mean, if I had a ton of money on the side, I would. And I do compound those pools. I've been compounding those pools now that I do have, which I still have a decent amount in there for sure. And it's actually been quite nice. I probably gained like 10,000 Jade, you know, combined with BTC. Just recently, I've been compounding. I've been leaving the Jade. I've been going in back into the Jade pools, and I kind of timed it pretty well, like at the bottom.
Yeah.
You know, when it got that low towards a penny, I was really like, okay, I'm not selling the Jade into Jewel or USDC or Bitcoin anymore. I'm just going to start compounding like Jade and Bitcoin, Jade and Avalanche, and then the Jewel that I'm earning from the gardens, right? The gardeners with the pets, with it like literally at least 2x, 2.5x your APR in all the pools if you've got a good pet, you know. That's where I'm going in, and I've been selling the tiers into Ethereum and then putting the Jewel with Ethereum that I'm earning.
Yep. You and me both, baby. I mean, it's like the couple of things that I've been doing, and you talked to Crypto Tro about it a little bit as well, is that DeFi Kingdoms is one of those only projects that's got several things that you can do inside of it. And I keep upgrading my heroes. You know, I think that most people are just kind of sitting there trying to figure out what to do. I hit 3,000 heroes about, you know, a couple of weeks ago. And now I've just been, you know, upgrading them because I've been doing my mythic squad. You know, just getting the pairs of genes correctly, going for those elite heroes. I think that you talked to Raph about it, Neindorf as well. Oh, and I want to be a big shout out to Raph. I've been watching Vox Machina. Oh man, he brought that up on your stream, and it's amazing. I mean, it's a D&D kind of game, anime on Prime Video. I highly recommend it. Great call on that, Raph. Now I just wasted. Well, I didn't waste, but I spent like I watched the first season. Now I'm on to the second season, and it's just like it's a cool show. It really gets you pumped up for what DeFi Kingdoms can do. It's just a fun adult version of D&D. So it's an awesome. Have you watched that yet?
I haven't yet. I wrote it down though. Vox Machina. I've got it written down right here. So I've been catching up on The Witcher, but you know I'm like so behind. So I just haven't had much time to.
There are so many great shows out there, but it's so much fun to hear like all the different people that come on streams and what it is they're watching, what it is they're doing. So when you have the ADFK guys on the stream, I can get an idea on what Raph and Neindorf are doing, and Crypto Tro, and you know, just everybody that's out there, the Bogside Chat guys, the Mythic Squad guys. It's just like so much fun to hear what everybody's doing right now in the middle of a bear market. I mean, you've got to have the community that's out there still, you know, pumping everybody up and getting things going and letting you know that, you know, this is the time when you should be accumulating, right? Accumulate those heroes, accumulate those pets, accumulate that jewel, that ETH, all those things that you really want. This is the time to do it.
Oh, baby. Isn't Crypto Tro, he's just so resolved. He's got this way about him that's first of all hilarious. Like it makes me laugh the way he talks. And then and others too that have mentioned that. And then, but he's got this long-term resolve about him, where his like face set like a flint grinding. And it's like, you know, he's always going to be Mr. Steady Freddy. I love what Sticks in turn. He is cracking me up. I wonder if Sticks has had a drink or two.
I love Sticks in turn. Every time I see him in office hours, it cracks me up.
Did he do it last week? Did he do office hours last week?
I'm pretty sure he put something together. I try to get as many office hours in as I can. It's just like, you know, during the summertime, I take a little bit of a break. But yeah, I love everybody's, whenever I see something pop on, because I think I watch so much DeFi Kingdoms content now, even new stuff that I haven't seen, like Brovia, is that who came on? I saw his stream. I've seen other streams come on. So it's like even the new content pops up into my recommended every once in a while.
Nice. Yeah, I started watching Brovia. Whatever, I don't know for pronouncing that right. Earlier, I think it sounds like, and I was looking at his comments on his video. We need to get that out there. I love seeing new content creators come out for DeFi Kingdoms. It's like, hey, just get in there and have fun. You don't got to worry about anything. When you've got 0 subscribers and you're trying to start a channel, hey, you can do whatever the heck you want to do. It just doesn't even matter. And you know you'll have a little community kind of backing you, watching you, subscribing, having fun with you. So
exactly. I'm 80% of my way through my new studio setup here. I'm trying to keep up with the brown gent, but I want to start doing some more streams with people, having them on the channel, talking about everything DFK. I've been really immersed in AI stuff right now. Loving ChatGPT-4, you know, asking it the questions that you need to ask it to just like really blow your mind. And the AI stuff that's just starting to come into into the space right now is just absolutely insane. In fact, I think that was a question on the AMA last week was, are the devs using AI in the development? And they said Fox was definitely, but Magnus wasn't. He was like in tune with his own style, which I get because most devs are, on that brainwave where they just want to have everything dialed in perfectly so that they can concentrate and focus. But Fox, I guess, has embraced AI really well. And I'm starting to get into it as well. I set up my entire environment, my entire like Solidity environment. I'm using Hard Hat and some of the tools that are out there. I don't know if I'm sure that you probably watched that Fox stream that happened probably 4 or 5 months ago, where it was just him coding for like an hour. Which I think most people thought was probably kind of boring, but I was like sitting there going like, yeah, this is cool. Get a chance to see behind the scenes.
A coder. Yeah. One thing you mentioned, Magnus, he's another one that when I hear him talk, he just cracks me up. It's like IQ is beaming off the screen when he's talking. He's like, talks like the biggest nerd ever, but it's like so big brains. You can just tell.
Those guys that have to optimize for gas and smart contracts. I mean, that stuff is absolutely mind blowing. I mean, you're basically, because I'm asking ChatGPT these questions and it's saying you can take the integer value, the uint 256 and shrink it down to a uint 32. So instead of using 256 bits, you're using 32 bits, but you got to be careful when you do that because you might have an out of range error. And it's just like, those little edge cases that you've got to look out for, which that's why the team is testing, all the time, because even if you think, oh yeah, this is easy, we can reduce, 0.1% of the gas fee. It's like, no, you've got to be careful because, it just takes one misstep to screw up the entire project. So, those things that I'm sure he's thinking about and he's doing in the background are really going to pay dividends later. But yeah, every little thing that you do inside of a smart contract, it's immutable. So once you commit that sucker, it's not coming back.
Yeah. It's so true. So much of the work is testing and finding the bugs, and it has to be perfect because what's at stake. And I imagine that probably makes things like take 10 times longer to get anything done would be my thoughts. All the test, like everything, every new update they put out, there's so much testing and back end stuff they got to do even before the front end and the API. That's probably the most stressful part of the whole job, I would guess. Okay. I love listening to it. It makes me laugh when I have the Huberts of the world and the Magnuses of the world just get on there like the biggest geeks on earth and just geek out. I love it for some reason. I've learned to just absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's fun to embrace the devs. I mean, when you hear Beetle Talk and Magnus and Fox, and when they get together and they start cracking inside jokes, and you're like, I have no idea what they just said, but it was probably funny if you knew what they were talking about. So yeah, all those inside jokes are great. But yeah, it's fun. I've actually had a chance to talk to a couple people that we met at 3XP. One of them being this Project String, which is pretty cool. I'm actually trying to get it now because we talked about this a little bit last time. How we can get fiat directly into Joule. So I'm working with them right now to hopefully put a little package together. They're really more interested in converting fiat to NFTs, which I know there's a lot of companies out there that are doing that, where you can come in and find an NFT that you really want, and if it costs $100, you can pay with your credit card and buy an NFT for $100. You don't need to know, what chain it's on, or have a wallet installed or do any of that. And that's the thing that I think really lifts all ships when it comes to Web3, because people don't really want to go out there and take the time to figure out, okay, I need to go get MetaMask or Rabby Wallet or, Uniswap or whatever. I just want to go out there and buy this NFT because it's cool. And I think that when more people see what's in DFK and they see the quality of the NFTs that are actually there, what the heroes look like, what the pets look like, all these different, skills and abilities that they have, they're going to buy them just because they're cool, right? Just because they're awesome to look at. It doesn't matter if they actually have utility inside the game, which all of them do. I mean, that's a huge bonus, but look what some of these people are paying for, JPEGs that have no utility whatsoever. So I'm excited about the fact that we'll get new players in and new people that just want to, own something that's cool, have a Dark Knight, or, have a Paladin that looks awesome, that, is a mythic Dread Knight or something that they're like, wow, I'm willing to pay, 10 grand for that just because it's so rare. And, I know that I know that it's got value and maybe it'll go up in time. It's kind of, it's still that speculation, but at the same time, they've got something that's got value to it that they don't really need to know much about the game. They can just go in there with their wallet, pay with a credit card and be done with it.
Man.
Wouldn't that be cool though? I mean, these are all the things that we're still talking about inside of Web3 that you're like, oh my God, we're still so young in this whole venture that it's just like mind blowing to think like, oh my God, that's right. It is really difficult for a new player to buy a hero. How do they do it? I know that you're creating your beginner series and, you're just like, you're stepping people step by step through this, but it's still so hard to say like, oh yeah, go out to Coinbase or go out to Binance or go out to Kraken and do this and set up MetaMask and do that and bridge here. And then, it's just like way too many steps.
Yeah, it is. So I try to simplify it, but it's tricky, Yeah. Hey, so I wonder if this is Chris from RoCeFi. RoCeFi, this is a project, Kristian, you might really be interested in potentially. I could see you liking what they're doing. So they were on FOMO or Pass, George and Brian. Now I think George and Brian are both going to be advisors, I think, to the project. As far as I'm not 100% sure if that's concrete yet. Okay, they might still be working that out. But I know they're talking. They both gave it a hard FOMO. Okay. And then George turned me on to it. I've gotten to know the founder of this project, Chris, and a light bulb went off. Really think this is legit. I'm really excited about this one. And I could just hearing you talk, when Jet heard you talking, it's kind of like along the dev lines. He was impressed. Jet was impressed by you, by the way. He told me. And I know a lot of people are when you come on. You get on here because you can articulate yourself so well, but you also get it from the dev side. And so what they're putting out here, I think, has real huge potential. And it could just completely bust. But I think so I love and I've just fallen in love with the guys, the devs, the founders. Chris being the main one. Chris, is that you? That's my question. I think,
and as we know, Grady, it's all about the team, right? I mean, the project's going to be a project, but you've got to get that right team behind it. That person that just has the vision, that sees the difference. There's going to be a small difference in this whole lending space, and when somebody clicks that button and turns it on, that's going to just lead to that whole new aha moment, that epiphany where everybody looks at it and says, wow, I can't believe that we didn't do this sooner. So, I don't know if it's going to be, is it RoCeFi?
Yeah, RoCeFi.
RoCeFi, okay.
And it's collateralized lending, okay? But it's two big things. There's no liquidation. You're not going to get just liquidated. You know how on all the other lendings like Aave, if the price wicks down, you could get liquidated out of your loan.
Right.
You just paid your loan back and lost all your crypto. Okay. And it's like, that's happened to me before. They won't do that. And it's a credit scoring system based off your wallets. Okay. So they have different tiers and it's all decentralized. And what they're going for is to be like the FICO of DeFi, where it's like, they'll get more and more aggressive and generous with their lending on your higher rated credit scoring based off your prior history on your addresses. And so they got it down. I mean, at first, a lot of people say that doesn't make sense. For crypto, you just get a new wallet. Well, if you get a new wallet with no history, you're going to have a bad credit score.
Exactly.
Okay, but you can still get a kind of a traditional DeFi loan, but where I think you will get liquidated in those scenarios. But you can lend against your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, okay, and then not have to worry about getting liquidated. And even Michael Saylor had to worry about that a little bit when things were dipping, and he had to fix his debt, ratios on his Bitcoin.
Right. Yes, to post more capital. Yeah, right. The lending side of this is huge. And I know that a lot of people are looking at under collateralized loans, right? Because in crypto right now, it's all over collateralized loans. So, you
That's
know,
what
you have to have enough assets out there, because if they drop in value really quickly, you need to be able to sell them off in order to pay back that loan. But as
yes.
soon as somebody cracks that code on under collateralized loans, where you can come into the space, just like you said, with a credit score, something that allows people to think like, okay, this person's not going to go and YOLO all this money onto some, you know, crap coin that goes to zero. Then you can actually have that under collateralized loan like people do now, where it's just a personal line of credit, right? You walk into a bank, which I hate to even use that term, but you walk into a, you know, your bank that's out there, and they say, hey, you know, do you need some extra cash for, you know, payday loan or for to make a payroll or something? And then you can say like, yeah, it'd be nice to have a $10,000 line of credit. And they go, okay, here's a $10,000 line of credit. Well, if Rosify, you know, is going to be able to do something like that, because think how many people would come out there and say, yeah, I'll borrow $100, and then they pay it back, and then they go, okay, now you can borrow 200. Okay, I'll borrow 200. And then, you know, as long as you prove that credit history, you continue to borrow more and more, and all of a sudden that app's going to make a ton of money, right? Just think about how much loan fees they can get over time. That'd be huge.
Right. And you know how DeFi Kingdoms is talking about having a lending system, you know, in there. They talked about that a year ago. They were talking about that.
Oh yeah, and just look how big Blur's gotten just by having their blend, you know, which is basically borrowing on NFTs, right? Blur's just blown up, and people hate it because, you know, all of a sudden people are getting liquidated on their NFTs, and they're getting sold at, you know, and the price of NFTs is dropping dramatically. But Blur originated that whole thing where they're like, okay, if you really want to borrow against your NFT value, we'll loan you up to 100% of what it's worth. And so people were just lending that NFT out to them, taking that money and buying another one, and creating that volume so they could, you know, hopefully get a larger airdrop or whatever it was they were trying to farm. But yeah, they did originate that. Well, they were one of the pioneers of creating that loan on NFTs, and I know DFK's talked about that.
Right, they've talked, and so Rosify is looking for partners just like DFK. Come in. This could be I just see this being a perfect partner with DeFi Kingdoms. It's like perfect. It's going to be hand glove, baby. I am almost certain that's going to happen. Honestly, I could just see it. I've had a dream about it. And so we're going to have Rosify built in with DeFi Kingdoms where we can lend against our assets, baby. It's coming. You just watch. I can't wait. Okay. And
that's awesome.
I'm going to have, I think, Chris, and I wonder if this is Chris. I don't know. This might not be him. But the founder of Rosify, I think tomorrow afternoon sometime, coming on the channel, baby. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get his vision. You're going to see how much he grinds and the vision and the passion that he's got. It fits the core values exactly what I look for. And that's what we do here. We look for teams with good, solid core values, with a strong vision and a purpose and a passion and a why that's driving them, and that are good at what they do, you know, that are innovative and make it happen type people. That's what these guys are. So that's
great.
I'm
on board then. I trust it, Grady. I mean, when you vetted somebody, you usually go out of your way to talk to them on a personal level that's going to be, you know, more about who it is that they are, what it is they're doing, why it is they're doing it, right? Their big why has got to be huge. In this game, you talked about it with Crypto Tro as well. It's like you've got to have a team that knows what they're getting into, because this is not a 6-month gig, right? This is not even a, you know, 6-year gig. This is like, can you get this going for 60 years? I want the project where people are going to be like, oh God, I wish I would have invested in this when it first came out, right? This is like, these things are so cutting edge. You don't want that team that's going to be here today, gone tomorrow.
Right. And that's it. You just nailed it. That's exactly what we do here. And that's why I'm such a bull in DeFi Kingdoms. That's the reason that I started this channel, was because DeFi Kingdoms team has that core value, and I couldn't help myself but come to their defense. And it's like a rare find in crypto when you have a team like DeFi Kingdoms out there. And I would say like Dragon's Crossing. That's why I joined them, to help them out. Yeah. This right here follows suit, hand glove to a T, almost unlike anything I've ever seen.
Love it.
And guys like Jet with Next Crypto Gym, all these guys are exactly what I look for. Jet is out there grinding relentlessly, day and night, nonstop. He's on a whole nother level of anything I've ever seen. Honestly, Jet is. Jet is on a whole different level when it comes to like his ability to make stuff happen, grind and work hard, grind through the difficult times. And he's like, he can do the work output of like 2 to 3 people. I would honestly say it's like beyond me even, and except when I was maybe in my prime when I started my insurance company. Like and I couldn't even touch that with a 10-foot pole today. The output that I put out those days, it was so insane. And I don't know how he does it, honestly. And he's just trying to be out there to be a helper and a blessing. So that's what I look for in crypto projects. And exactly like you said, if we could find those projects before they get big and say, hey, just imagine if you said, hey, I was in Amazon in 2004 and I was all in on Amazon when no one believed in them. Nothing was going.
The silly thing about that, Grady, was I was in an Amazon in 2004. I think I was in an Amazon in 2001. And I remember riding the wave down of all of the .com companies, everything that I had put money into, the Yahoos of the world, and everything else just crashed. And I was like, oh my God, I'm never getting back into into anything that has a .com associated with it. Little did I know that, 2 years later, I had to, eat my words because everything took off, right? It was just that capitulation moment where everybody was like, oh yeah, the internet's just a fad. It's going away. And you're like, oh man, why did I invest in all these crappy companies that are not worth it? And even Amazon was one of those companies, right? Because it was at a couple $100 and all of a sudden it was at $4. And I remember thinking like, oh my God, I probably got liquidated because I had margin, those are back in the days when I would trade and I would just go out there and day trade and things would go up or down 100 points in a day. And I'd be like, oh great, I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm rich, I'm poor. But right now it's like, there's so many opportunities where there's the Rosifys of the world and there's the DFKs of the world. I mean, I've said it before. We almost get inside information every week, every AMA from the guys in DeFi Kingdoms. And I thought to myself a long time ago that if they ever stop doing their AMAs every week, I'm out of the project. But they haven't let me down yet. It's just been week after week after week, and I've been getting all the inside information that I need. And I can't control the token price. I mean, I can't say, oh yeah, it's going to go up or it's going to go down. It hurts me when it goes down, obviously, but just to see their output and see how much, how many new things have come into the game in the last year and where it's going and how excited Hubert is. I mean, when Hubert gets excited, I get excited. It's just like, whoa, yeah, he's got all these ideas that are starting to come to fruition. I'm like, wow, this token's going to have a ton of utility. Awesome. Let's get it on.
Let's go. Seeing Hubert oh my gosh. Wow. So bullish Brovia. This is our man that now started a YouTube channel. He's done 2 or 3 videos now. Got to make sure you like, subscribe, bell button this man's channel. If I had $500, I would first right now go buy a Dragon's Crossing Genesis Hero. I think less than $100. Well, in fact, hey, let's see. Here we go. Let's see here. Where are we at? Okay, and you can now search because I would buy a 1 Rift Hero at the floor, which is currently this Warrior. Or wait, no, this must be a Genesis Hero. $65, and then a Rift Hero around $20.
Wow.
That's what I would do. I would maybe buy 2 Genesis Heroes, go to pay $20, pay the seasonal play. I'd put the rest in DeFi Kingdoms. I'd probably buy some really good matching pairs in Gen 1 10 out of 10 heroes with advanced abilities and summon those together, buy up some Jewel. That's what I do.
Yep.
Right? I'd probably put 2/3 into DeFi Kingdoms, 1/3 into Dragon's Crossing. And once you play some Dragon's Crossing, once you get into this game and play, you will find it is absolutely, without question, the most addictive Web3 game there is currently today. Period. It is phenomenal. My kids are so sucked in. All they do and think about and talk about is Dragon's Crossing. And it's like, the competitive seasonal play, it ends entry. The entry ends tomorrow. We won't be able to enter season 2. So after tomorrow, well, you've got another month. You can get into DeFi Kingdoms, dollar cost average. Yeah, as long as that $500 is money that's like you can put away like in a 401k that you don't got to worry about for 30 years when you retire type money. Okay. Because of course, obviously they're both high risk, high reward, very high. I could easily see a Dragon's Crossing Genesis hero become worth the same amount as a Gen 0 hero in DeFi Kingdoms. Easily. Okay. And then, of course, my largest holding in all of crypto is Jewel. Okay. Well, and DeFi Kingdoms heroes. I'm not at 3,000 heroes, but I am over 2,000 heroes. Like
There you go.
Kristian Peter has 3,000. My number 2 crypto holding, though, is the Weight token. I got Jewel, my number 1. Number 2 is Weight. Probably should be Bitcoin and Ethereum. But I'm a Deegan. I'm a Deegan, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
So
I love Ethereum so much. I mean, Ethereum is by far my number 1 holding. I always have 1 Bitcoin. I will always keep 1 Bitcoin just because I feel like I need to have 1 Bitcoin. But Ethereum by far is my highest conviction. I love Ethereum. It is the internet computer. It is what everything will be built on. And as you know, I love ZK technology.
Yep.
We've got EIP 4844 coming out in October, November timeframe, which is the it used to be called proto dank sharding, which was one of my favorite terms. I love dank sharding. Whoever came up with that deserves prop, but it's changed names now and it's something new. But once that comes out, every gas fee on any layer 2 is going to go down by like 20x. So, you know, it's going to be absolutely nuts. And then ZK technology allows all these zero knowledge proofs to be done almost instantaneously. So you have instant finality for like a penny or less than a penny each. You're talking about gas fees right now on Avalanche subnets with DFKChain. Can you imagine ZK where it's instant finality, fractions of a penny? You can do as many transactions as you want, and it's just going to be absolutely nuts for the entire Ethereum ecosystem. It's going to go crazy. ZK Sync, I think I've been farming ZK Sync, and I have about 30 wallets out there right now where I'm going out to all the new protocols. I mint the free NFTs. It's not cheap. I mean, some of these gas fees can be like $1, but I feel like that in my opinion, ZK Sync is going to be worth 100x of what all the other layer 2s are going to be worth. So
yeah, you keep talking about that. Yeah. Hey, that's another thing about Rose CeFi is they're on ZK Sync.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, that just makes me even more bullish. I mean, I'm going to have to go out there and start using it.
In fact, when you go to their Twitter, okay, where's George's Twitter?
Hashtag I am George. I love that.
Hang on here. Let's get, okay. When you go to Rose CeFi on Twitter, look, Rose CeFi on ZK Sync. They changed the name. But they're on like 9 different blockchains.
Okay.
But they specifically choose to say on ZK Sync, right?
And they've got 35,000 followers, so that's a good amount. I mean, some of these projects have like, you know, a couple hundred or 1,000. So to have 35,000 followers is pretty nice.
Yeah, and they've got that many in Discord as well. So they don't have a token yet, but I think they're launching their token at the end of the month.
There you go. See, get out on ZK Sync and start farming.
Oh my gosh, yes. So I'm gonna do it. I haven't done it yet, actually.
Bridge some money over. Grady, you got to get some ETH over there, baby. Just, you know, throw like 0.1 ETH into ZK Sync. The bridge is cheap. It's like $5. Get some money over there. Start playing around.
I for sure will. Probably on air live tomorrow with Chris. Okay. I'm going to have him walk me through it. And I'm going to get on this Rose CeFi. I'm going to do a little loan. We're going to do it, baby.
Nice. Yeah, so, I was using Erlend. I'm sure that Rosify is familiar with it. Erlend it used to be called Nexon Finance, and then it became Erlend. And so I was using that just to do a couple of things because they're going to drop a token at some point too. But now that I know Rosify is on ZK Sync, I'll put some money over there because I put like a couple of Ethereum in, and then I'd borrow some USDC, and then I'd use that USDC to go out and do other things inside of ZK Sync. But yeah, I feel like you should use all of these protocols because you don't know who's going to drop a token. You don't know if you're going to get, you could get a bunch of ZK Sync tokens at some point that are worth a lot of money just by going over there and trying some things.
Yeah. I love it, man.
Yeah.
I love it. Everything that's going. Kristian Peter, you are just like a father figure. I'll tell you what, man. I really appreciate everything you do for the project and for the crypto space. So the day you get on with Jet, I will be all over that like white on rice, baby.
I hope everybody will. You know what I'm looking forward to, Grady, is I think Sargent and a couple other people mentioned it as well. We need to have a viewing party, a DFK
Yes.
viewing party for the next crypto gem. Whenever that
Yes.
debut is on, we've got to do that, baby.
I can't wait. Sargent, I know you've been talking with Sergeant Fieldley McNasty and the Brown Gen and Sticks intern. We got that chat going, I think, that I'm like 8,000 messages behind on. And so I'm pumped for everything going. But as far as a viewing party, I tell you what, I watched the first 15 minutes of episode 1 uncut, kind of like not the finished project at all.
Right.
I was bawling in tears. It's like so good. It's
Nice.
first class. It's going to be really good for non-crypto people coming in this. There's the Brown Gent piping up, baby. Let's go. All right. So viewing party, we got to. Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, I'm going to be on Sarge's stream this weekend too. So I think Friday night he's going to have another hot takes. I love getting on there with Sarge and everybody else that he invites on there. Sometimes he gets some new faces, sometimes he gets some old, but it's just like, yeah, it's so much fun to go out there and rap for, an hour and a half with everybody in the, the DFK family. And it's just it's a great time. So I highly recommend that. I mean, there's so many streams going on now. I love Monday nights with you. I love Tuesdays, that happen with the Bogside guys usually, and then Wednesdays is like the Brown Gent, and then Thursdays is the Mythic Squad, and it's just like everybody's on a different day, and I can get out there and get a chance to see all this content. It's so much fun.
Yep, keep it up, man. I'm really excited for you to get on with Jet. Oh, and I'm so pumped that you've connected with him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I mean, like you mentioned, he really came from nowhere. I mean, I think that, the first time that I heard his name was when you talked about it at ETH Denver, and that was what, March, right?
Yep.
And I was like thinking, who is this guy?
Yep.
And then all of a sudden I met him at 3XP, and I was like, okay, cool. And then, he's been so influential now by getting BitBoy and, George and Brian D. Evans and Leia and all these people, all these different personalities. And he must have some kind of secret sauce, right? I mean, it's just like, you can't get all of these huge egos in a room, and have them, not kill each other. So, I mean, I think he's got some talent there.
Right. That is a masterful process. And I was attached to his hip and watched him do it. So, and he explained all about it, how important that is to keep it. He keeps it cool between BitBoy and George. Those are two of the biggest personalities. I mean, talk about alpha dog males right there.
Right.
They're like stubborn as an ox, both of them. It's like, how do you bring these two together and keep it cool? He does it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was November, end of November was in Miami. That's when we met Jet.
Oh, that's when you met. Yeah, I didn't meet him then. You met him though.
Oh, yeah. He didn't have any of those partnerships at all. Zero. Okay, he had Kevin Harrington, and his business partner is a multi-billionaire. He did have that. So he had all the money he needed. But just to actually make this happen, look out for the weight token. I think the weight token will be an absolute monster gainer. It's almost, you can like take it to the bank, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, I think you're right, Grady. And a lot of these projects that can just build through this market, right? Yeah. We may have already hit a bottom. That's the scary thing, right? Is that people aren't talking about it, but that bottom may have even happened last year. And we've hit a decent period right now where I think people are complacent. But when ETH was down in the 900 level, and Bitcoin hit 15 grand or something like that, I was like, wow, how low is it going to go? But ever since then, it's been right back up. And it's kind of one of those things where it's been stepping up, hitting those, those times when it has higher lows and, higher highs. So it's like, it's kind of hitting that stair going up and up. And I'm not the biggest TA person. I look at, fundamentals and I think, okay, this project I like the team behind him. But, Brown Gen has really paid attention. And yeah, he's out there too, like looking at what he's going to accumulate in this next bull run. And I love the fact that Weight's building, DFK is obviously building, Rosify is building. All of these projects are building in the bear market that are just going to take advantage of this. I mean, look what happened in the bull market when people didn't even have projects. I mean, there was nothing there. It was just vaporware. Now
Yeah.
we've actually got some utility, and there's things, it's like when people are talking about Ethereum, was it going to make it through 2018 because there was nothing there? Well, now it's the backbone of DeFi. So it's like, wow, how things have changed.
I know it, right? When you talk about TA and trading, I have to give it to the brown gent. He has to be one of the most shrewd traders I've ever seen. And I watch like 10 of them at least. All the guys. I watch all your Benjamin Cohens and, good trader, good, solid, sound traders, crypto lifer. You got a lot of good ones out there. Brown gent just has this magic about him that's so shrewd when it comes to, and he really does. He just tries to put his knowledge out there and help people.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
like,
that's
really
the great thing. Yeah, that's the great thing is when people are out there helping other people, you can tell. I kind of feel bad when people get involved with a YouTuber or any content creator or somebody on Twitter, and they're just talking about like, oh, this is 100x, this is 1000x, all these projects that are really not very good. And then you've got other people like Benjamin Cohen and like some of the other guys that are out there that are like, no, you know what? I've been through 2 cycles before, and this is what I've seen, and this is what I think you should be careful for. And it saved me money because I was like, okay, I mean, I'm not big into Bitcoin dominance by any means, but when he starts talking about it, and I look back on the charts and I'm like, yeah, you're right. So Bitcoin dominance is going to go up, and then Ethereum dominance is going to go up, and then all the altcoins are going to go up. So why am I buying Jewel or any altcoin when I know that Bitcoin's going to go up, and then Ethereum's going to go up, and then everything else is going to go up? So, it's pretty easy when you look back at history.
And you nailed it when I was on with Brown Gent. You said that, hey, ETH will probably front run Jewel, but then that just means you'll be getting more Jewel, and then Jewel's going to pump and you'll get more ETH in the end.
Exactly. I mean, I don't see Ethereum, 10xing. If it did, that'd be phenomenal. Right? If it's 20K, I'd be like, holy crap.
I think ETH has 100,000 per ETH upside in the next, because of the burning and everything you're talking about. You're right. So ETH is one of my top holdings. I got more in ETH than I do Bitcoin as well.
Yeah.
Even though I'm so bullish on just the long-term sustainability of Bitcoin, but I love
Bitcoin for what it's worth.
Junkie, Deegan. What's that? Go.
I love Bitcoin for what it's worth, and I think it is a digital store of value. And if you use it as a digital store of value, it's finite. You can transport it anywhere. You can use it for payment. Most people will accept it now. It's not one of those things that's on the fringe anymore. It's not like, oh, this is a Silk Road token that you trade for drugs, although you could probably trade it for drugs still if you wanted it to. But, Bitcoin, as people mentioned, has been one of the only things that's really held its value so well as the government keeps printing money and printing money and printing money. Bitcoin's gone up, 1,000,000%. And it will continue to go up as they print more money because they have to. But that doesn't mean that ETH's not going to go up too, because now ETH is deflationary and it's the backbone of everything. And the gas fees are just going to continue to get more and more and more. Not that the L2s are going to come into play and take a lot of that, congestion off and a lot of those fees down. But I think ETH, like you said, is going to flip Bitcoin at some point, but people will still buy Bitcoin because why not? It's better than real estate. It's better than stocks. It's better than anything else because it's finite and you can't manipulate it. It's like, I bought my Bitcoin. It's going to be worth more tomorrow than it is today. Yeah,
it's by far the most decentralized asset out there. And it's the hardest to hack as well. Like you can't, like supercomputer, a whole bunch of supercomputers won't be able to hack it. So
but ETH is like it's definitely got more value in my mind and most people's minds right now. I mean, if you're a hardcore Bitcoin maxing, you don't see any value in anything other than Bitcoin, that's your opinion. But there's so many other blockchain related things, items that are out there right now that have value. I mean, I look at DeFi Kingdoms, it's a blockchain game. And it's got value to me because I play it and I see the value myself. It might not have value to somebody who's an ETH maxi or a Bitcoin maxi, but to me, I'm looking at it going like, well, Jewel's got a ton of value because it's deflationary, it's gas, I use it in the game, I get power-ups with it. So why would it not go up over time? I mean, if more people want to play this game, which it turns out might be extremely fun, and there's going to be more utility, and there's going to be other things happening, and there's going to be new items coming in the game. Holy crap. Okay, I can see that there's so much value here that's untapped, right? It's just like if Jewel was just a token that they threw out, then they said, buy it. then I'd be like skeptical. There's no utility behind it. There's nothing I can do with it. But when I see it's the backbone of this entire 4-realm game that's going to be on 4 chains at some point, I'm like, oh wow, this is going to have a lot more value than I thought. Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, 100%. And the team behind it, everything going phenomenal. It's the dream project you could ever hope to be in. And right now is a great time to get in.
It is. It's the bear market, and we all need to look at it for what it is. It's not going to take off tomorrow. It probably won't take off next month. Just like we mentioned, Bitcoin leads the way. Ethereum comes in second. Then everything else runs. And there's going to be a lot of new coins that come on the market that do probably as well, if not better. But you're going to look at some of these projects. Just look at what happened to Axie last time. They had a really kind of mediocre at best game, but the token shot up to a $10 billion market cap. And it was just like, wow, for this. I remember going out to Axie the first time and playing it and going like, this sucks. This is like, I hope somebody comes and buys my Axies from me, because this is not a very fun thing to do. But yeah, it had its moment in the sun, but it faded away really quickly.
Yeah. And surprisingly, it's held up, and that team's still growing. I like the Axie team. I do like the team. I think they might do fine.
They did good because they built up their war chest. They traded in a lot of those AXS tokens for stable coins and ETH and other things. So they were smart to do that. I think if the DeFi Kingdoms team would have cashed out some of their jewel, even though it looks bad at the time, but if they would have traded it into an ETH or something and got it off of Harmony, just think about what a better position they would have been in and how much more they would have had in their treasury. And instead of having a $5 or $10 million market cap, they'd have $100 million market cap, which would 10x it, from right here where it's at, just by their treasury being off of Harmony. Now that it's decentralized and it's on 2 separate chains, I just think that the future is just so incredibly bright for everything that they're doing. And the guys are smart. They're thinking ahead. They're playing the 3D chess game that I'm hoping that we're all seeing. But it takes somebody to like look inside, to kind of probe into what Hubert's thinking and what Beetle's thinking and what Magnus is thinking, and where's Fox leading this. And when we got a chance to hang out with Dreamer and Sunbear, in LA, and that was so much fun. I mean, I highly recommend that everybody should go out there to at least one event. If not this year, then plan next year. Get a chance to hang out with these guys. They're really cool, genuine people, and they have a really thoughtful, well thought out plan. I mean, Dreamer is a smart guy, obviously working at Goldman Sachs and being risk mitigation and doing stuff for companies like Bridgewater, capital hedge fund that's billions of dollars, and he's got to mitigate their risk. It's just like, okay, and this guy's working on DFK. All right, there's something here. These guys are very bright. Yeah.
That's on point. Mic drop. Show over right there. Done. DFK is the best. Let's go, Sticks Intern. So bullish. Hang in there, guys. Hang in there, boys and girls. Any last words?
No, I love you, man. It's great. It's July. It's summertime. It's so much fun. I mean, this is the time to accumulate, keep getting that ETH, keep getting that jewel, keep building up that hero, keep building up your legion, right? Just build that legion up as much as you can. Get those great pets while you can. They're cheap. Go out there, hatch some eggs. Get out there with the Mythic Squad. It's just it's a great time right now to accumulate assets inside of DFK and just use them to build more assets. Stack those assets like you can.
Let's go. A to the men. Another mic drop. We got a double mic drop. We got Kristian Peter and Crypto Grady out. Love you guys. You're phenomenal. Love you, Sticks Intern. You're my brother. We're going to watch you coming up Wednesday. We're going to watch Bogside Chats tomorrow. We're going to watch the Brown Gent Sticks Intern on Wednesday. We're going to watch the Mythic Squad on Thursday. We're going to watch Sergeant Filthy McNasty on Friday. Let's go. Love you guys. Kristian Peter, Crypto Grady, out.